We can start, John.
Well, good morning, everybody. Welcome. We got agenda review looking at agendas for Wednesday, September 10th. Looks like we have a Sedgwick County Commission agenda and a governing body of Fire District Number 1. Tom, take it away.
Tom, you want to go or you want me to start?
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, good morning, Chairman and Commissioners. For county announcements, there'll be 2 hometown heroes, and then Red Cross and Fire Department sound the alarm campaign on October 4th, and then Safety Expo Saturday, September 13th, and then we'll do one more National Cleanup Day at Sedgwick County Park and Lake Afton Park. And that'll be it for county announcements.
Commissioners, we have 3 proclamations set for next week. One is, and all of them are right in the county's wheelhouse. One is National Co-Responder and Crisis Responder Week. The other is National Suicide Prevention, and there's a business item that talks about suicide prevention as well. And then Constitution Week, which we recognize every year. There's one appointment. Commissioner Blubaugh is going to appoint someone for the Advisory Council on Aging and Physical Disabilities. And then we have a number of new business items. Dr. Klaus will be here to talk about Suicide Prevention Coalition work and give us the most recent data on suicides in the county. G and H are Scott Wadle items. One is an amendment to code regarding daycare and general land use and residential zoning districts. And Scott is behind you if there's any questions on either of these. And then airport, H is airport hazard zoning code update. Questions for Scott? No, he's briefed you. Item I is a donation to the health department, to the Healthy Babies program that Adrian Byrne will be here to present. And then item J, and we're briefing you all on this. I think we've gotten you all except Commissioner Blubaugh, and Commissioner Blubaugh actually sits on this committee regarding the opioid settlement agreement. Rusty will cover that agreement going forward with the city of Wichita, and we'll be able to answer any questions there. I think there's one part of that, right? Is there 2 parts to that or just one part of
the approval of the agreement with the city, and then also finance, but it needs
well, that will require 2 motions, 2 actions by the commission, or 1 single action.
Yeah, the recommended action that's listed on here does a good job of summarizing what they'll need to do.
Okay. Very good. Then the next item was bid board, and there was, I think, 2 items on bid board. One is the ComCare Community Crisis Location Expansion bids for remodel of that building. And I'm gonna let Tanya talk about that in just a bit. And then the second item was medical waste pickup and disposal contract for several departments within the county. Tanya, can you, there's a new business, or there's a consent item under L, which is a capital improvement program amendment for ComCare Crisis. Can you talk us through both the bid board and item L on consent?
Sure. The bid board item, Commissioners, as you will see, there were several bids, and they were all close within each other. The low bid, and I will say that we were pleased to see the bids as they came in. They came in below what we had estimated for what we were anticipating to see on the construction bid. So we were happy to see that. Item L is asking for an increase to the actual project. And I think when we talked about this before, and I can't remember what year, Lindsay might have to help me, was it 2022 that we actually had this project? Okay. So in 2022, I think this project was 15 million, and we're asking for an increase to this project for a total of 19 million. That is inclusive of everything for this project. So that is the acquisition of the building, that is construction, furniture, fixtures, and equipment permit. So everything all in is 19 million. And that still is below what we had originally anticipated being for this project. So with the bids, at, I think, 11 million just under 11 million for Icon, that's on the bid board. We're really pleased with the outcome of this for crisis building.
Maybe a couple questions. Lindsay, maybe you can help me. This was before my time on the commission. Is this bond funded at 15 million?
So, right, so the project authorization that the commission approved back in 22 said that we would anticipate bond funding this project up to $15.5 million. And so obviously with this increase, it's going to be more than 15.5 million. But if you recall, those of you that were here, at the beginning of this year, we did a transfer of some of that ARPA revenue replacement money we did two transfers. We did one into the CIP fund and we did one into the equipment and technology reserve fund. Of that amount that went into the CIP fund, we said that it would most likely be allocated for any overages for this ComCare crisis project, as well as any overages for the admin building over and above what had been bond funded last October. So that was a total of roughly 15 million that is available between those two projects. And so the increase that Tanya is referencing here, the proposal would be that you all would authorize that cash to be used to cover that gap. Does that answer the question?
It absolutely does. That's very, very helpful. Would you be able to, Tanya, also, and I don't need this answer now, but maybe we can talk after you get some answers. There's been a lot of discussion about parking. If you can help me on understanding the parking conversation that we'll be having down there, and you can email me that separately if you'd like.
I'm happy to answer a little bit of that right now. We have reached out to our on-call real estate broker to help us with parking for our employees. And they do have a potential solution for that. And we're working on that right now. I can tell you it's not going to be right there, but it's going to be as close as we can get it.
Okay. But just let me know some details whenever you iron those things out. That'd be helpful.
You bet.
I want to make sure our employees have necessary parking. Okay. Yeah, please.
Thanks, Mr. Chairman. And Tanya or Lindsay, can you get us say the breakdown of the purchase price, all of those? It doesn't have to be a lot of that. Give us the overall. When you said the total is now 19 million, that's all.
We can get you a line item list of the total project. You bet.
We'll have, want to have Jennifer come in and talk about the crisis build and with Tanya and Andrew, and we can cover all of this in that one comprehensive discussion. We'll set that for our staff later in September, maybe early October, and have a comprehensive discussion about this project.
It's still good. Something.
That'd be great. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, we're back on consent now. Item M is an affiliation agreement with the Mandela Community LLC for IDD services. We have 45 agencies that we contract with. This is their agreement for that particular vendor. Item N, I might have Justin talk this just a little bit. This is an opioid litigation update. There's, I think, 6 more settlements coming in. I don't know, we have a fiscal note on this yet. And I think the commission action here is just to basically accept the fact that we're going to receive this contingency in the future. Is that correct?
That's correct, Tom and Commissioners. Justin Widener, County Council. This item is it's a settlement with secondary manufacturers. There's 8 different parties in this settlement agreement. The state of Kansas is participating, but in order for Sedgwick County to get part of the settlement proceeds in that, there's a requirement that the governing body has to take action on this. That's what this item is. And Tom's correct. We don't know the precise dollar amount that would stem from this, but I think consistent with our prior settlements, we've seen fit to try to reach these settlements and get whatever funds the county can get from the opioid settlement funds. And these would be placed in the specialized account the county has for opioid settlement funds. Any questions? Thank you.
Okay. Item O is a consideration of Unified School District USD 262, which is Valley Center Mental Health Intervention Team. I don't know how many more of these we have coming. So that's the agreement with Valley Center. Item P, and I know Joan has sent an email to you all about item OP, and I think also our item P is a consideration of MHA receiving funding for 2 positions that will work in Second Light that are providers there. We've talked about this publicly before. This is actually the action that will move that forward. Item Q, this was on a few weeks ago, and I don't know if Lindsay wants to talk to her or not, but we've amended some deferred compensation agreements within the funding. I don't see Sheena here. So Lindsay.
So commissioners, if you recall, at the time this was going to be presented, they were going to change one of the funds that we have an option to invest in through our deferred compensation plan. And we had some concerns from an audit perspective. If the one that had been selected was compliant with our rules, it is. And so we have asked to put this back on the agenda. So no change to what you originally saw, but we do appreciate the opportunity to investigate that with our auditors.
Item R is a employment agreement with a registered nurse that's going to work in ComCare. Details are in the backup. And then Kelly's here, I know Arnold. You can answer this. Item S is a modification of cereal malt beverage handling from a licensing, or not licensing, but application process.
That's correct. And I was just going to note that they changed the state law on this just slightly. And so administratively, how these cereal malt beverage licenses are processed is slightly different in terms of, I think the Kansas Department of Revenue goes before the county clerk now. So we're just changing it to be consistent with state law.
And item T is position reclassifications. These are all in the health department. Either extra work is being added in certain areas, so we're reclassifying positions, or we're equalizing positions. There is a number of reasons why there's 4 positions total going to be reclassified there in the health department. This is part of an ongoing effort as we continue to look at the health department organizational makeup and the position makeup that HR is working on in conjunction with health. So it's some position reclassifications. And that's the rest of the general agenda is routine business. The fire agenda is a single item on bid board, and the chief is here, or Rusty can explain. It's a little bit of a complex acquisition that you might want to talk about, Chief, if we could bother you to come up and.
Hey, Chief, good morning.
Good morning, Commissioners. Doug Williams, Fire Chief. What we've done is we're changing the method in which we do our breathing air program. And many years ago, the fire district changed. We used to have air compressors for our air packs and breathing air in every fire station. And they made a decision at one time many years ago to go to a method where we just have the air storage in the stations, but we have a large mobile air truck with a compressor and a large generator to run that compressor to go around and fill up all the stations. What we have continual problems with that. Number one, right now, that truck, to replace it today, it's a 2010 truck. It's scheduled. We've been keep pushing it back because we really don't want to spend $1.5 million on a support vehicle. So like I say, we've pushed it 3 years probably in a row back on the fleet replacement plan, but we're at a point now where we're going to have to get it on the plan, and it's probably 3 to 4 year build, and it'll be $1.5 million truck probably. And looking at other options, we can put an air compressor in a fire station for $30,000. Well, it's a little more than that, actually closer to 40 with the freight and everything. But we have 3 stations that have air compressors, and if we go ahead and start moving towards putting air compressors in the station, number one, we won't have to buy a big $1.5 million truck with an air compressor on it. We can look at a smaller version that carries the cylinders and carries the support equipment we need on fire scenes. So we're looking at saving at least $500,000 when we replace that truck by not having to put the compressor and the big generator and the stuff that goes with it. But the second piece of that is every Monday now, that truck has to make a circle of all the fire stations and refill their cascades from what they use on car fires and training and whatnot. They have to go out every Monday. So Station 37 runs short-staffed every Monday all day while that truck makes a complete circle of the county and spends 120 or X dollars on fuel besides just putting miles on a vehicle. So we really look at it from two big gains. Number one, we'll save money in the long run. The second piece is the stations will always have full cascades by having the compressors with the storage. But thirdly, it'll drop down the use on this vehicle, and Station 37 won't be running short-staffed every Monday. So we're starting out buying 3. We went through and worked with purchasing on getting the bid for 3 of them now to take them out of special equipment funds. And that's what our purchase is for now.
Okay.
And they're going to go at 34, 36, and I think 33, so that will shut down basically to where the mobile air will only have to support really Station 32 most of the time.
That makes a lot of sense to me anyhow. Commissioner?
Thank you. Can we not just take care of 32 as well? And do we still need to buy a new mobile air down the road, or is it something we just don't need any longer?
The truck?
Yeah.
What we will do is we would still use it because it carries 40 to 50 air cylinders on it, and it carries like all of our rehab equipment and some stuff like that. So as far as a vehicle, we would still want to replace it as a support vehicle. But our goal here is to push the life of it further down the road. But also when we do replace it, it won't be a $1.5 million truck. It'd probably be more like a $500,000 or $600,000 truck.
Because it doesn't like need the compressor and the generator on any longer. You'll just load it with cylinders and then fill that at a station.
Yeah, and it would have a cascade system on it, but it still wouldn't have the and when I say cascades, air storage system, but it won't have the big compressor, and it wouldn't have nearly the light towers that this one carries, and it just would be a lot scaled down vehicle.
Makes good sense, Chief. Appreciate you guys doing that.
I get
Okay. Is that it? Let's see. Okay. Everybody have a good weekend. KU plays Mizzou.